Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 18th of March 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight on AEW Dynamite from the closed set in Jacksonville, Florida. They never told us where they were. It just said live. And I thought they put on a really good show for what they had to do. I think that, yeah, they didn't have an actual crowd there, but putting the wrestlers out there makes sense. I had some people ask me, why hasn't WWE done that? And that's because WWE is running with a different mentality. If you're not going to be used on the show as far as in a interview segment or in a match, you're not brought to the arena, to the performance center. With AEW, we saw they brought a lot of extra people. Now, I don't know if the extra people are guys brought because they needed them to tape for AEW Dark as well, but they weren't used tonight on Dynamite, so that made sense. I don't want to see somebody on like SmackDown wrestle in the opening match and then in the crowd 20 minutes later for another match or vice versa. So I think the way AEW did it tonight, having people there that weren't used for tonight's exact show was a good way to go. But Nick, what did you think of tonight's AEW Dynamite?
I thought AEW did significantly better than WWE did, but I think they also had a lot of time to prepare for what they were getting into, and they also got to see how WWE ran their stuff. So
Very true.
I guess it's a little bit of an unfair judgment, but I think for what we were given, I'm a really big Brody Lee fan. I always have been. So it's nice to see him. I think I saw somebody tweet that it's interesting to see him go from the follower of a cult into a leader of a cult, which I think is a very nice character.
You're going to praise him when just like 2 minutes ago you were dogging on his gear?
His gear looks like shit. He looks like an even worse Kevin Nash. Now, just to make sure, you did unmute my mic, right?
Yes.
Cool. Just making sure. Yeah, I thought the show was fun. Let's talk about it a little bit because, unlike WWE, they started off pretty good with actually giving us content.
Now, I loved the open of this show, and I do have to say that if there was a crowd, I don't think this opening would have actually worked, and it wouldn't have been as impactful or as attention grabbing. I felt like this open of the show with it dead silent, Cody talking, the Matt coming out, and Kenny coming out and whatnot. I felt like with no crowd, it was actually better. So Cody opens up the show. He's in a ring. It doesn't look like Daly's place at first because of the way it's lit and it's set up differently than the last two shows they've ran there. And he's just standing in the ring with a spotlight on him, and he addresses the television audience and urges them to be informed and to listen to science, but also not live in fear. He stressed the importance of the elite working together tonight and going forward. Matt Jackson and Kenny Omega would then come out and pledge their allegiance in spite of the differences the group has had. The only question mark remaining is Hangman Page. Cody said he's tired of putting Page over. He believes that Page may be the best wrestler in the elite. He thought that Page would become the first AEW World Champion. He got beat by Jericho. Cody then admitted, so did I, so not too much to really dog on yourself about there. And then Page did end up coming out after Matt Jackson said, hey, let's just squash this for the Blood and Guts match. And he asked if he would stand by the elite. Page got a slight nod, or gave them a slight nod. Now, here's the thing. Hangman said multiple times, I want to leave the elite. So them being mad that he doesn't want to actually be by their side, I don't think they have a right to be mad because he told them months ago, hey, can I just be my own guy? And basically they're like, no.
Hangman Page is someone I've turned on to.
In a good or bad way?
In a good way. It was someone that I didn't really like. I knew on a surface level what like the character of Hangman Page was, and I was like, cool, that sounds funny. But then I think it was when he made the tweet of it was just this like legal document he tweeted, and it was just really funny. He had some jokes in there, and it was really good. And I was like, damn, this dude's actually really funny. And I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watch Achievement Hunter, and he was on one of their shows.
Okay.
And it was like a very like, and I love that AEW lets their people do this because it was like a very like personal, I felt video where I was like, talking, where it was like listening to an interview with like,
Right.
the guy, not the character, which
Well, I mean,
which was awesome.
WWE will let Xavier Woods do that. He was on Achievement Hunter's Extra Life.
Yeah, he just showed
stream.
up last minute. It's very cool.
Chopping them for donations. That was hard. Freaking Alfredo took a bad chop. Anyways, Kenny Omega takes the mic. He asked for Dynamite to start. Lights, pyro, boom. I thought this opening, like I said already, was just phenomenal. It was great. And I felt like with a crowd, it would have been kind of not as good because the crowd would have reacted to just cool things that they thought were cool. And they would have probably cheered when they probably shouldn't have. Like Hangman walking out in silence worked perfectly. But I felt if there was a crowd there, Hangman would have walked out and they would have popped. And then it would have kind of killed the mood. Or the mood they were going for with this.
I think they nailed it. I think they did a good job with what they had in hand.
Oh, yeah. So as we said, there were wrestlers around the ringside. It was funny. They kept if you're looking at the ring from the hard cam, the baby faces were on the right, the heels were on the left.
That was cool. I like that a lot.
It's just like how their entrance is set up. The baby faces come out of the right, the heels come out the left.
Whoa. That shows how little attention I pay to AEW. They do that?
Yeah, they took that from TNA back in the day because TNA used to have the two entrances where baby faces would come out one side and heels would come out the other side. Man. And it was the exact same with the circle tunnels and everything.
I love TNA. Fuck me. We need to do a whole TNA.
Old school TNA stuff?
Old school TNA look back. Maybe a little watch-along series. I love
TNA when Christian was there. I watched that more than WWE back then.
Give me 2003 TNA. It's good shit.
2003, 2004 when Christian came and Christian Coalition with AJ and Tyson Tomko and kinda Kurt Angle mixed in with them. Anyways, it's the AEW podcast. So JR, Excalibur, and Taz were on commentary. They ran down tonight's card, and Tony Schiavone was basically the interview guy, walking around, talking to different people, and he talked with MJF at ringside. MJF said he's going to allow the undercard talent to get their TV time tonight. He was out there sitting with Shawn Spears, Tully Blanchard, Jake Roberts, Lance Archer, and Wardlow. MJF and Spears appeared to be betting on the matches, and Tony Schiavone actually was appalled by this. I was like, wait, are you betting on tonight's matches? And MJF was like, what are you talking about? Betting on these matches? That would be appalling. And then he like holds the mic back and goes, betting on this, old man? A couple bucks. I thought that was kind of funny.
It was fine. I laughed.
So the first match we did get was the Lucha Bros, or Lucha Brothers, as they call them, against Best Friends, and no Justin Roberts. So what did they do? They took old Brandy Rhodes, or should I say Eden Styles, as she was known in WWE, and put her back on.
Wait. Back the actual fuck up.
You didn't know that?
No, I always thought she was Brandy.
Hold on. Let me double check.
Are you joshing me? No, there's no way that was a, like...
Let me double check this.
That's too stupid even for Vince, I think.
In
Eden
WWE,
Styles?
In WWE, she was the ring announcer known as Eden Styles.
Wow. That's just stinky. Did she, for her whole time within WWE, she always went by Eden Styles?
Believe so.
She had to have gone. People are saying they remember her. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, she was always Eden Styles.
Do I just not pay attention?
It's the ring announcer. I don't expect you. I mean, it's the ring announcer.
Right, why the fuck do I know Greg Hamilton?
Because Greg Hamilton got over being the NXT ring announcer.
Like, why do I... Like, why
do you know the Raw ring announcer?
What's his name?
As I say, it's not JoJo.
What's his name? Mike...
Yeah, you're getting there.
Not Mike Hamilton.
Mike Hamilton, they're brothers.
Mike, fucking Mike Wazowski, you dumb piece of shit.
I think this guy's at least got 2 eyeballs.
What is this dude's name? Mike Rome!
There you go.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Brandy Rhodes in WWE was known as Eden Styles.
That's awful. That's just
and not just like STY or anything. It was STILES. Anyway.
Let's continue on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail it so hard there.
Anyway, she announces does the ring announcing for tonight's show, and Chuck Taylor and Phoenix start off this match. Lengthy offense between the two early on. Phoenix came back with a question mark kick. Trent. Pentagon tagged in and worked over Trent's leg. Trent got a hot tag and started to spill some of the action to the outside. Orange Cassidy distracted Pentagon and Phoenix as he was sitting on commentary. I love how they asked him a question on commentary. He said nothing, and Taz goes, I think I heard a yup there.
Fucking Taz. The only reason I like Taz is because I only liked hearing Taz call Benoit matches.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, yo, baby. Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you, Cameron. Andrews.
Andrews, can you not read?
No, I can't. We've known this for a while. For becoming a new member subscriber.
Enjoy your emotes, baby boy.
Orange Cassidy gets up from commentary, and he dives off of the stage onto the Lucha Bros, and then just goes back and chills the commentary with his feet up on the table. After the commercial break,
Trent should be AEW champion.
Huh?
Should be AEW champion.
Lord.
But tell me why I'm wrong. Give me one
maybe
good
he could be
reason
the TV champion when they bring that belt or whatever their secondary titles.
Hey, that would be. I would absolutely. Man, you know what's really funny is I have a picture of Orange Cassidy hanging up right in front of me. Let's continue on here.
After the break, Trent hit a swinging DDT to Pentagon. Taylor got the hot tag. Best friends hit a tandem cutter. They built up their trademark hung spot, but they bumped elbows instead on the full hug. So Trent hit a pile driver on Pentagon, only got a 2. Phoenix and Taylor fought in the corner and took the ref. Pentagon then hit a low blow on Trent, and the Lucha Bros followed this up with their tandem double stomp package driver for the pin, picking up the victory. So afterwards, Tony Schiavone interviews best friends, and he looks at Trent and goes, "Are you okay?" And Trent's like, "No, I'm not," holding his balls. And so Taylor says, "You guys can only win by kicking him in the nuts. How about we fight again at the next Dynamite? How about we take this in the street fight, but at the actual streets? How about in a parking lot? We got a parking lot. Let's fight in the parking lot next Dynamite." And here's the thing. They're under the impression, it seems like, that they don't know when their next show's going to be because they kept saying the next Dynamite, not next week on Dynamite. Like when they talked about the Blood and Guts match, they said the Blood and Guts match will happen on the next Dynamite. So they're working under the impression of, we're going to run again. We just aren't sure if it's next week or a couple of weeks down the road.
So, here's my thing. I hear, let's do a parking lot brawl. I immediately think of how happy I used to be when I used to play SmackDown versus Raw.
What, with all the trucks in the circle?
Yeah, they'd be the trucks with the circle, and you could interact with the cars, and oh my fucking god. It's so fun. Shit like this is fun, man. I think that's the one thing that attracts me more to say I'm more inclined to enjoy AEW over the WWE is just because AEW does fun, stupid stuff, and I like.
Well, here's the thing, though: they're trying to get all that fun, we haven't done it yet stuff out of the way now, because who knows how much they're going to do down the road. You get it all out of the way now, and then it's like, okay, now we can kind of spread it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt Jon Moxley will be there with his car. That's really Tony Khan's dad's car. They ain't going to try to fuck that car up.
Did you see the way? Did you see the way he fucking climbed into the car? He climbed in like a fucking psychopath.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
John, I know he's a big fan of this show. I know him and Renee over a nice dinner listen to the show. They love our voices. If that's how you actually enter cars, please stop and please change that because that's so wrong.
Well, typically, he's not used to getting into something with a small cab like that. He's used to his big Dodge F-250.
Oh my god, he looked like when you are playing a video game and you walk into the wall and you don't know how to crouch yet and you hit the crouch button a little too late and you hit the wall.
Oh my god, yes.
Let's continue.
Next up, we had a Fatal 4-Way match with the women. It was Hikaru Shida, Riho, Chris Statlander, and Penelope Ford. Looked like Ford is getting a overdue push here. He was made to look really good in this match. Statlander is a good athlete and somebody that I know they want to push, but at the same time, it's like they've pushed her enough Now it's time for somebody else to get that push, and it looks like that push is going once again to Hikaru Shida. We've seen her get pushed multiple times, and then the push kind of dry out. So hopefully this one doesn't dry out. But Ford and Riho paired off early. Ford sent Riho to the outside, and Statlander and Shida did doubled up on Ford, but Kip Sabian tripped them, pulled them out of the ring, and he was just like, "Ref, what are you going to do about it? You can't disqualify in a fatal four-way." Statlander and Shida and Statlander then paired off in the ring. Ford tried. Well, actually, I missed a spot. Riho jumped from the top rope to the floor on all four women. For Statlander and Hikaru Shida then paired off in the ring. Ford tried a dive off the ropes, but to Statlander, but Statlander didn't catch her, and Ford took a nasty landing tumble. Hikaru Shida then hit a missile drop kick to Statlander. Ford and Riho did a double suplex to Shida. Ford hit Riho with a handspring back elbow, gave me Dana Brooke vibes. Riho then hit Sabian with a baseball slide, and then a step-up knee off of the back of, I want to say, Penelope Ford. Ford then hit a springboard Poison Rana. This was phenomenal. So Penelope Ford is running, and she springboards off of the ropes and lands on Chris Statlander's shoulders in like an electric chair position, and then immediately flips backwards and hits the Poison Rana. It was actually very, very smooth, surprisingly because of the not smooth stuff we saw earlier in this match. So Shida then blocked a handspring and hit Ford with the Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Shida then hit Ford with a Shining Wizard and picked up the victory.
It's my favorite move in all of wrestling just because of the name.
The Shining Wizard. Just like in NXT, they call, because, what's her name? Tegan Nox does the Shining Wizard, so they call her the one with the shiniest wizard.
The girl with the shiniest wizard.
But you know why that makes sense? Because of her name?
Why?
She took the last name Nox from Harry Potter. Nox is
you see.
I believe Nox is a Harry Potter spell.
Correct
me in the chat if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I spent time like outdoors instead of learning Harry Potter spells. I'm fucking with you.
I've dated women and been married to one that loved Harry Potter.
It's fair.
So Tony Schiavone then interviews Colt Cabana at ringside,
boom,
or in the front row, and he says, "We're here with Boom Boom Colt Cabana."
That dude's great.
And Colt Cabana put over Penelope Ford, saying that she looked good in this match. He said that we have a great women's division, and I know I'm not going to get bit. Throwing some shade at Shayna Baszler, I see. He then says that she'd be better off, Penelope Ford that is, without her scheming boyfriend. He hears Colt Cabana say this, and Sabian and Cabana slapped each other. Cabana then pie-faced Sabian. Cabana and Sabian looks like it'll be a match we're going to get soon, whether that's on Dynamite or AEW Dark. Probably a dark match.
That'll be a dark match, and I think that's the perfect dark match, because I think that'll be a fun match. That'll be funny.
And they did state that Colt Cabana is 2-0. Got a perfect record so far in AEW.
Give him the belt. Give him Moxley.
Tony Schiavone introduced Jon Moxley in a segment earlier in the day. They said that Moxley was not medically cleared, so because of that, he was not able to enter the building. Basically, I don't want to say this, but they made it saying like you got coronavirus and you can't come in.
Or are they saying not medically? Like, did he get hurt?
I mean, he's been hurt since the paper. Well, he got freaking powerbombed off the stage 2 weeks ago through a table basically the Inner Circle now does the Shield powerbomb, and they gave him one off the stage through a table.
Cool. That's cool.
And so he was out. So he was out last week because of it. Sick. And then they did that to who'd they give that powerbomb to? They tried to give it to Hangman. I think it was. What?
I don't know. I don't know why you said it like that. The way you said who? Who did you give that powerbomb to?
Who? New Day. Anyways.
Can we get? You should make some boom boom emotes. That'd be kind of fun.
Sure.
Anytime we get to a Colt Cabana segment.
So,
boom.
He tells Moxley, "You're not medically cleared. You can't enter into the building." Moxley says, "Why do they think they can tell me what to do? They know they can't tell me what to do. I do whatever I want." And he awkwardly climbed into Tony Khan's father's car and drove off.
God, don't ever get in a fucking... If anybody in this chat gets in a car like that, I just want to talk. I just want to talk.
I forgot something. Before leaving, Moxley said that he's going to be around, and whenever Blood and Guts happens, he'll be there to pester the Inner Circle. He's not going to miss that party.
Nice.
Next up, we got Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy taking on the Butcher and the Blade. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy got some shine on the Blade in the opening minutes of this match. Jungle Boy tried a plancha, and the Butcher and Blade caught him and slammed him into the barricade, not after getting a bribe from MJF and some, I guess you can say, coaching as well. So I guess they're all still working together?
I don't know, man.
Butcher and Blade proceeded with a lengthy destruction of Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus finally got a hot tag. He hit a series of kicks to the Blade, then hit a standing moonsault off the apron to the floor on the Butcher. Luchasaurus then hit an extinction event to the Blade. Butcher made the save. Butcher and Blade hit a magic killer black hole slam combo for a near fall. MJF called for Butcher and the Blade to go for their finish. The distraction allowed Jungle Boy to send Butcher outside with a knee strike. And then commentary kicked it off with JR, was talking about how, if he took off his boots, he'd look like Kevin Von Erich. And then Excalibur was like, oh no, well, he'd look like this guy. And then Taz was like, oh, but he can look like this guy. And then JR, sick of it already, goes, okay, he can just look like anybody with long hair.
Jesus.
He's just like, fuck it. I tried to make a comparison. You guys tried to one-up me. Dragon Express then hit a tandem finish on the Blade. Luchasaurus picked up the victory. Baby faces go over. They put over that MJF tossed the Butcher and the Blade this match with his distraction.
Thank you, Kristen, for the $5. Can y'all do a TNA watch-along? Dog. It's crazy that you say that.
So,
just earlier we were talking about doing it.
She was probably listening when we did.
That's what I'm saying. I guess we got to do it now. We talked about it. Someone's asked. Thank you, Chris.
The Dark Order come out. Evil Uno, Stu Grayson make their way out to the ring.
Cool name.
Evil Uno said, I hope production's on their game tonight because I want to look right into the camera. I want these cameras to see my eyes. See my eyes as I speak to the people at home. He said he promised that the Exalted One is near, and he always tells the truth. Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian come out of the crowd, and they get up into the ring, and Daniels goes, cut this crap. They cut it out. We know there's no Exalted One. It's just you and Grayson. You guys haven't helped anybody's careers anyways. What about those other guys, John Silver and whatever his name is? You haven't done anything good for them. They haven't got anything out of this. And then a video begins to play of the Exalted One with a distorted voice and a man dressed in a hood. The voice slowly, less and less distorted. The new credo of the Dark Order is that they go where they want, when they want. He said Daniels needs to shut up. He said Daniels isn't the first out-of-touch old man to underestimate him, but he will make sure he is the last. We finally see that the Exalted One is Brody Lee, the former Luke Harper. The lights went out in the arena. When they came back, Lee was standing in the ring. He hits Daniels with a big boot and a discus lariat. Dark Order then posed in the ring, and Lee just left. And then finally, about a moment or so later, they then follow him out as Kazarian tended to Daniels, and they go to commercial. So, as you said earlier, we're to see that Brody Lee goes from a follower now to a leader.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've known that he's always been a good talker, because that brief time when they broke up the Wyatt family and he was Intercontinental Champion feuding with Dolph, he cut a couple good promos there.
Scrumptious. Yes.
So we'll see how he does. I think he can do very well. I think he can do well. And I don't know. I don't have too many hopes because the Dark Order gimmick hasn't gotten over that much yet. So maybe he can help them. I don't want to say get over, because they don't need to be baby faces or anything, but not be a shit on by the fans anymore. So Tony Schiavone then interviews Jake Roberts and Lance Archer. Roberts said that Archer is here to fight, not talk. Roberts said Cody had the gauntlet laid on his feet, and he ignored it. Roberts said that it would be one thing to try to stay out of harm's way, but it's another simply to ignore him. Jake said that he's a Hall of Famer and should be listened to. He told Cody, think about it. Schiavone then threw it to a Archer hype video, and this was very weird. A bunch of little people in a ring. Kind of looked like a circus act going on. kind of deal. And he just got in there and beat down a bunch of these dudes as Jake Roberts looked on from a chair as if he was just smoking while Archer beat up these little guys.
Story of my life.
Then we learned for next week, or not next week, but the next Dynamite, Wardlow versus Luchasaurus in a lumberjack match. That should be interesting. Best Friends versus the Lucha Bros in a parking lot brawl. And the Inner Circle will take on the Elite in the Blood and Guts match. Again, for the next Dynamite, whenever that's actually going to be. They're very clear not to say next week, so we'll see. They also announced that the Blood and Guts match, at the time, would be 5-on-4 because Nick Jackson is not allowed to travel and he's injured. So then we go to the main event. Jericho enters. The match itself is actually Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz against Cody, Hangman, and Matt Jackson because Kenny still can't wrestle with his broken hand. Jericho enters to join commentary, and Sammy Guevara grabs the mic and just sings Jericho's music because the crowd's not there to sing it for him. And this was great because he doesn't know all the words. And so he's like, and they're like, well, good thing this isn't America's Got Talent. And then Jericho's like hyping him up like, yeah, keep going. Keep going. It's great. I think Sammy Guevara and Jericho are the best duo right now in wrestling. As far as comedical timing and all that kind of stuff goes.
Oh, that is a bold statement.
I mean, who do you think is better? Like, what duo do you think works better together? Can you name a better duo?
Duo?
Can you name a better duo in wrestling today than Jericho and frickin' Sammy Guevara?
Yeah, the Revival. You can't tell me those motherfuckers don't get along flawlessly with what they do.
I mean, they do, but th're complete opposites, though, if you really think about it. I was talking about, like, comedic-wise.
I don't really think anyone's doing anything funny.
That's what I'm saying.
You're comparing them to, like, nothing, though.
Anyways. I thought it was funny on commentary. Jericho at one point says that Ortiz and Santana failed high school gym. And then he asked them if they have first names, and they said they don't. They're just Santana and Ortiz. Cody hit Ortiz with a power slam and an X-Plex early. Matt Jackson and Page argued on the apron. The Elite tripped up Ortiz. Page blind tagged himself in, and Jackson wasn't pleased with that, even with the decision that they will all stick together. Cody then tagged back in and got cut off, shifting the momentum to the Inner Circle. Hager hit him with a Vader bomb before the commercial break. The beatdown on Cody continued during the ad break. Cody hit a crossroads to Ortiz, but could not follow up the cover. Hager then cut Rhodes off again before making a tag. After the final ad of the show, the last commercial, Hager missed a Vader bomb, allowing Cody to make the hot tag to Hangman. Hangman hit a fallaway slam, a tope suicida, then used a sliding lariat on Santana for a near fall. Match then broke down. Cody hit a suicide dive. Wardlow would grab Cody from behind the barricade. Page and Jackson used tandem offense on Santana in the ring. Jackson then called for an indie taker. Page tried to hit it, but got tripped up on the floor by Jake Hager. Santana then cradled Jackson and picked up the victory. I mean, this is the only way you can go. You have to have the heels win because the winners get the advantage in War Games, and it never really works well when the baby faces have the man advantage. Like, it's a heel thing to go 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3. Not for the baby faces to have that uneven advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So afterwards, Jericho cuts a promo. He gloated over the victory and banned all fans from future events, saying that this was better than anything they've had. He said even if the world changes tomorrow, he doesn't want any pumpkin-headed dipshits chanting for the Elite. Jericho then put over the unity of his group versus the dissension of the Elite and said, hey, we're 5, you're 4, we've already got the advantage. As he says that, a drone flies in front of the Inner Circle and interrupts Jericho. Jericho said the Elite won't be outnumbered. Matt Jackson said the Elite won't be outnumbered as he made a call because someone owes him a favor. The drone then lands, and we hear a piano song start to play as the camera pans all the way across the building to the second deck of the arena, revealing Matt Hardy with a new red streak in his hair. Hardy then made his delete motion towards the Inner Circle as Jericho looked on, selling fear as the show goes off the air. And the weird thing here is that Matt Hardy did his final, he says, Free the Delete. Usually those videos come out first thing in the morning, at like noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Well, for some reason, that last Free the Delete video didn't come out till during Dynamite. But it wasn't like he didn't want to tease or ruin anything that happened on Dynamite, other than now he's got the red stripe in his hair. Because that episode of Free the Delete tonight told us nothing going forward for the Matt Hardy character. But Matt Hardy is now with AEW. I don't know if he's officially signed a contract, but it does look like he will be the 5th man to join the Elite for the Blood and Guts match whenever that match does end up taking place. Nick, your thoughts on the show?
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was actually really good.
It was good. It was enjoyable wrestling without any fans. I guess they had fans because they had the heels and the baby faces, whatever. But they did the whole empty arena thing pretty well.
Right.
And yeah, I'm excited for Blood and Guts winning if it happens.
As far as NXT tonight, I mean, there's no need to do a review because
Who
basically
actually cares?
Because basically, I like checked in during. Here's the weird thing: my thought process was, all right, I'm gonna pay attention to Dynamite, but commercials will switch over. Fucking both shows, every time went to commercial at the exact same moment, and that never happens. But basically, all I saw on what's it called, NXT, was they were recapping the feud between Gargano and Ciampa. There may have been more, but I didn't watch anything past I stopped flipping over after about the 50-minute, 1 hour mark. So I don't know if they showed anything different in the second hour, but it was no new wrestling. It was all recap stuff. See where that leads us to. But with that, I think that's gonna do it here, talking about AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. It's been what? This is probably... When was the last time I was on 3 straight programs? God, I couldn't tell you. Probably
2018?
Probably.
At least early 2019, probably.
I'm very excited to be here tomorrow as well for another Nick and Tim episode. Tim, you tweeted something out today that we wanted the fans to do.
Yes.
We might as well tell them here at the end of the show, now that we have 122 of our best fucking friends.
So what
do we need them to do?
So we're doing a couple different things for tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's show is going to start at roughly 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a guest on the first half of the show. It's going to be MLW wrestler Richard Holiday. I hope I said that name right. I think it's Richard Holiday. Let me double check before I say that again. Yeah, Richard Holiday, MLW star. He's going to join us. We're going to talk about some MLW, indie wrestling, and whatnot. Ask him about how he's dealing with, MLW not running for 45 days and this and that. And then afterwards, we're going to do something pretty cool. Me and Nick are going to react to indie wrestling clips. So what we need from you guys, send us your favorite clips and GIFs from Twitter or YouTube if there's short clips. Try to keep them under 20, 30 seconds. We don't want anything long. I had a couple people send us matches and say, watch these matches. No, we don't want to react to full matches. What we want is clips that we don't have to, because I don't want to name any names. I had one guy send me something and goes, here, watch this. You can take out whatever you want to see from it. It was like a full match or whatever. I'm like, no, we want you to send us clips that we don't have to watch ahead of time so we can react to them, not, knowing what we're getting into, which would be kind of funny.
And real quick, we say I hate calling them react videos because I hate fucking react videos. But I'm a big fan of everyone's just kind of fucking vibing in here and we're looking at some cool wrestling. Now that's what I want to more make. It is an opportunity for stuff that I've seen on Twitter that I want to share with you guys, that maybe you guys have been seeing that you think, hey, I think this wrestling is cool. I want to promote it. I want to share it, blah, blah, blah. We want to see that kind of shit. So that's kind of what this is. It's not so much of a hey, come to our reaction stream. It's more of a hey, come share some cool wrestling and come watch some cool wrestling. And I'm very fucking excited for that. I'm very, very pumped for that. We're going to have some bangers in there, my man.
So according to Alex McCarthy of TalkSport, he states there's going to be some big WWE news dropping soon. He doesn't know exactly what. But he stated that the news we got today is not over. Stay tuned.
Jesus Christ.
When he asked about the whole Mania, how they're actually going to run that in multiple buildings, if that's the plan, multiple venues, whatever, he said all he was told back was, not over, stay tuned. You know what else you can stay tuned for?
You know who else said that?
Papa
John. Remember when he was like, the day of reckoning is coming, stay tuned. Some shit like that. I don't know, my man. But thank you very much, everybody.
We do got a couple text messages that you want to read really fast.
No.
Yes.
Tuning. Go ahead.
This person here says, Ray and Revival contract at WWE. So Revival is a sticky situation. Scott Dawson's contract is up in April. You would think Dash Wilder's contract would be up in April as well, but it's not. When they first came to the main roster, they did a last run of NXT house shows, and he broke his jaw, was out for 10 weeks. WWE has added those 10 weeks to Dash Wilder's contract, so he may have to wait 10 weeks before he can wrestle outside of WWE. They're trying to get it to where he can leave early if WWE will allow it, but knowing WWE, they probably won't. Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's contract officially ends in October, but he has a out clause that he can actually leave if he wants to in April, because he signed a 2-year deal, I think it was, with a 18-month out clause. This person here says, with the Exalted One being Brody Lee, do you see him starting out as a manager, then wrestling, or always manager or wrestler? He's going to wrestle.
Yeah, there's no fucking way he's a manager, bro. Don't worry.
A guy that sat home for that long isn't just going to come here to stand around.
Facts, good.
This person says AEW might as well have a 6-man tag team titles with the factions. I think that's the route they may be going. They're building up all these, and they made a point tonight, which I forgot to mention. They made a point tonight to say everybody's grouping up and starting stables. Everybody's getting people to watch their back. So I think that could be a thing, because the Bucks always loved the idea of ROH and New Japan having their 6-man titles. I could see that being something implemented in AEW as well, and probably something that they could focus on for AEW Dark and be like a staple on that show.
Yeah.
So with that, I think that's going to do it. Thank you, Kristen, for the Super Chat donation again.
Thank you all very much for tuning in. My name is Nick. You can follow me on Twitter at ArmWeek21. You can follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Right here on YouTube. Fucking like, subscribe, the bell. I don't care. Do it. And do it. Just do it. Tim, where can they find your social media pages?
Well, you can find me basically everywhere at Timmy Buddy, on Twitter at Timmy Buddy, or on Twitch, twitch.tv/Timmy Buddy. If you head over to my Twitch channel, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would hit that follow button and subscribe. Because remember, some of you may be able to subscribe for absolutely free. If you are a Amazon Prime member, then that means you're a Twitch Prime member. As a Twitch Prime member, Twitch gives you one free subscription every month to any Twitch streamer you want to support, free to you. And if you don't use it, it goes to waste. And then it's just money burning a hole in your pocket. So why not support us? Why not support twitch.tv/Timmy Buddy? Because all the money that I will be making off of Twitch will go directly back into PW Unlimited. It will help us upgrade our software, help me pay Nick a little bit extra and whatnot. So, hey, it's a win-win for everybody. It's not going to cost you anything if you have Amazon Prime, and it helps us out. Again, head over to twitch.tv/Timmy Buddy. I'll probably be playing more Warzone later on tonight after I get a couple more WWE news videos done.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys very much. We will see you guys tomorrow for the Nick and Tim show. And remember, folks, call your mom. She probably misses you. Bye.